Hola, bienvenidos de nuevo a la clase de Español 101 aquí en Cal State San Marcos. Soy su profesor, Dr. Michael Hughes, y hoy estamos hablando del verbo tener. Hello, welcome back to Spanish 101 here at Cal State San Marcos. I'm your professor, Dr. Michael Hughes, and today we're going to talk about the verb tener, which means to have in English. It's a real important verb. It's got lots and lots of uses in addition to just the possession one. And it's going to be important that you get a handle on this one and that you practice it. Right? So the basic meaning of tener is to have or to possess. Right? And this is how we were going to conjugate it. There's a whole set of verbs in Spanish that are like tener that have a weird or an irregular form, first person singular form. So juego, tengo, stuff like that. Salgo, vengo. So you'll see this pattern with those two. So yo tengo, tú tienes, ella tiene, nosotros tenemos, ustedes tienen, y ellas tienen. So we actually have two things going on, right? So we have this odd pattern or this odd first person singular verb. Then we have a vowel change in the second person and the third person and the second and third person plural, but not the nosotros form. And you'll find this is also true for lots and lots of irregular verbs in Spanish, that even though other forms might be irregular, the nosotros form is going to stay the same. So one more time. Yo tengo, tú tienes, ella tiene, nosotros tenemos, ustedes tienen, ellas, ellos tienen. Usos comunes, common uses for these verbs are to indicate possession, like what I talked about, right? So the basic meaning of have. ¿Cuánto dinero tienes? How much money do you have? Yo tengo $20. ¿Tienes un carro blanco? Do you have a white car? No, mi carro es rojo. Age, you're at that. So, right, you don't, in English, we say I am, and we use the verb to be. In Spanish, you don't say that you are a certain number of years, you say you have a certain number of years, right? So, ¿cuántos años tienes? How many years do you have, right? How old are you? ¿Cuántos años tienes? Notice that little tilde right there, that's important. Yo tengo 20 años, or whatever, however many years that you have. I just wrote XX. You could write in whatever you want. Yo, por mi parte, tengo 55 años. ¿Y tu madre? ¿Cuántos años tiene ella? And your mother? How many years does she have? How old is she? Ella tiene 73 años. Or you could just say tiene 73, pero tiene 73 años. Your state, so states of being, right? Not the states of a country, right? So, for instance, we usually again in English we use be most of the time. In Spanish, a lot of times you're going to use tener. For instance, instead of saying I am hot, you say I have heat, right? Tengo calor. You can't say if you say estoy caliente or estoy calor or something like that. People will look at you a little bit weird. Um, just because it doesn't make a lot of sense. It just sounds funny, right? Tengo frío, just like you have heat, you have chill, you have cold, right? Tengo calor in English, I am hot, but right, we're using the verb tener. Tengo hambre. So hambre, here's your vowel pronunciation. Hambre with an a is hunger. Hombre with an o is a man, right? So let's not say tengo hombre. I have, well, maybe you do have, but that's not usually what you want to say when you're hungry, right? Okay, so tengo hambre. Tengo hambre means I have hunger. Tengo sed. Tengo sed. I'm thirsty. I have thirst. Tengo prisa. I have hurry, right? I'm in a hurry. Tengo prisa. Tengo sueño. I'm tired. Sueño is being tired, right? And then tener ganas is a good thing to use. So if you want to do something, you're excited to do something, tengo ganas de hacer algo, right? So, right, you're sitting around, it's late, you just finished your homework, and maybe you want to go get some midnight snack. No tienes ganas de comer? Haven't you desire to eat, right? Ganas means desire. Now, there's a great old movie called Stand and Deliver you could watch that talks about ganas a lot. Tienes ganas de aprender castellano? Oops, I forgot my front question mark. Do you want to learn, are excited to learn castellano, right? Tengo ganas de bailar, right? I feel like dancing, or, right? I mean, it sounds weird in English. I have desire to dance. But that's not what that's not sort of colloquially how you translate it, right? Do you feel like I feel like dancing? Do you feel like eating? Do you are excited about learning Spanish? Something like that. Ganas. Ganar is the verb to win or to earn, and ganas just means desire. Okay, you also have obligation with tener. So this is in English we do the same thing. You have to, right? Tener que plus an infinitive means have to plus whatever that means, right? So yo tengo que estudiar. So that que, right, in Spanish where you'd normally translate this would be something like, if you translate literally, I have that to study. But if you would not do that, right, you would just say, I have to study, right? You think of this K working just like the to. I have to study. Mucho para el examen. I have to study a lot for the test. Yo tengo que escribir una carta a mi mamá. I have to write a letter to my mom. Tenemos que comprar el libro de texto. We have to buy the book, right? We have to buy the book, the textbook, right? Okay, good. Whoops. Okay, so that's all there is to that. If you have any questions, you know how to get in touch with me, Hughes at CSUSM.edu. No question too large or too small. And if you need to meet to talk about it, that's easy to arrange as well. We'll just do that by appointment. So anyway, as you're working through your groups and you want to practice the net K and all those different idioms with the net, which are important to learn and come up all the time since you have hunger almost every day, at least 2 or 3 times. For instance. So those are important to practice. Activities chapter 236 and 237 look pretty good if you want to do that with your group. Okay, muy bien, adiós.